Welcome to Season 9, Episode 28 of the Ubuntu Podcast. In this episode, we're going to discuss the demise of distros. We'll also have some command line love, and we'll go over your feedback. I'm Alan, and joining me this week is Laura. Hello, Laura.
Hiya.
How are you?
I'm alright, thank you.
Super. And there's also Mark. Hello, Mark.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm brilliant.
Super. And Martin, how are you?
I'm very well.
Good. What have you been up to, Martin?
I have been flashing.
Oh
no!
Yeah, I know. It all ended miserably. I was in lots of trouble. Flashing a Flyme OS Meizu Pro 5 with Ubuntu.
What's that?
Ooh.
So this is a Meizu Pro 5 that comes pre-installed with an Android-based operating system and flashing it with Ubuntu Touch. So
Where'd you get
it? Fully. Where did I get it?
Yeah.
From a reseller on Amazon.
Fell off the back of a lorry, mate.
Okay.
Yeah. So I made doubly sure that this was a what was called international and now known as a global version. Although, as it turns out, that's not so important. It's ways to work around those firmware issues. They're quite trivial. It's one of these things, once you know how to do it, it's easy, but learning how to do it takes a bit of time. So that was a bank holiday weekend well spent. So I've now got a Pro 5 Ubuntu edition. And
so it came with Flyme. How was that experience?
Rubbish.
Okay.
So it came with Flyme 4.5, and that was really rubbish. So I updated it to 5.1.60, which is fairly up to date. It's one off the current version. And it is based on Android, but it's very different from Android. And there's no app tray, so you can't say, show me all of my apps. That was weird. So you have to install things, and then you have to know they magically turn up on another screen somewhere.
Weird.
Yeah, but the settings menu's really quite nice. But it's it's a little bit.
And you managed
locked.
to flash Ubuntu on that?
I did successfully, yes.
Good,
so I've got a fully operational Ubuntu Pro 5 now with over-the-air updates working and everything.
Sweet.
So very happy with that.
Good. Mark, what have you been up to?
I've been flashing too.
Oh my
What?
god.
Oh, it's been an awful
endemic.
weekend.
Yeah. So I have been trying to flash my
worse.
Nexus 7. We tried to flash my Nexus 7 with Ubuntu Touch.
Your 2013 Nexus
My
7.
2013 LTE Nexus 7.
Is this the one you used to use when you were recording in person?
Possibly. I had two,
Oh.
which I used. I had a 2012 and a 2013.
Ooh.
I noticed you've said tried and attempted. Did you succeed?
So the 2013 LTE model isn't officially supported.
Yeah.
So there is a community port on ubports.com. If you go to the devices page there, it has some nice instructions of how to flash it, and they didn't work.
Oh.
And if you go onto the forums, there's a thread which says, "Oh, this obviously doesn't work, so here's how to do it properly," with some more instructions, and they didn't work. So now I've got a tablet where when I try to boot it, it says this phone must be restored by a PC or service center. Now Martin tells me I might have to compile my own kernel, which sounds brilliant.
Yeah.
Old school.
So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I've sent Mark some links, and it's an exercise for the reader. I went through those loops a few months ago with my own Nexus 7.
Right, fun. Let's get on with the show.
Okay.
Oh, hello. Yes, I think earlier in the show, Alan might have promised you a segment here about the demise of distros. Unfortunately, we had a bit of a technical mishap, which means that Martin doesn't appear on the rest of this episode. That poses a bit of a problem, considering that he speaks for quite a lot of it. So unfortunately, we've had to cut this segment from the show and a bit of the feedback, which we'll try and include in the next feedback show in 2 weeks. So instead, here's some command line love. And now it's time for Command Line Love. This week's Command Line Love is a collection of a few tweets from CLI Magic on Twitter. Now, the reason that I picked these in particular was because we spoke a couple of shows ago about the Control-R command to search back through your history. Mm-hmm. And that seemed to be very popular amongst a few people. And then CLI Magic posted this big list of things, which are other control and meta shortcuts that you can use in Bash to do all sorts of other useful things. So there's Control A and Control E to move to the start and the end of the command line, like pressing home and end. But in case you don't have home and end, you don't have to lean on your arrow keys. There's meta and full stop, which inserts the last command from the previous command onto the end of the current command that you're writing.
What's meta?
Meta, so that is, I think that's Alt in...
is it?
Yeah,
oh,
super
yes, Windows
is super.
Yes.
I think, yeah, Alt is meta. There's a few to do things like you can press Control W, and wherever your cursor is, you'll delete the previous word. And you can do Control U to delete everything from where you are at the moment to the end of the line, which is really good. Everything from where you are to the beginning of the line, which is really good if you're typing a password and you can't see it, but you know you've done something wrong, and you want to make sure you delete all of the characters so you can start again. If you could press Control U, you'll delete everything back to the start of the line. And there's also Control and underscore, which does incremental undo of the edits that you've done. So if you've used this to remove a word and then paste in the command from the previous command and then edit it a bit and you think, oh, whoops, I want to go back to what I had, Control and underscore a few times and you step back through what you've been writing.
Huh. That's really cool.
Yeah. So I've made a list of these which we can post in the show notes.
Awesome. If you have any of these further command line loves, do let us know, because we love them.
We love getting your feedback, so please send it to us. Even the pointlessly mean stuff makes us laugh. If it's short, tweet us on @Ubuntu Podcast. If it's less short, but please no essays, email us on show@ubuntupodcast.org. If you'd like to discuss some of the things we talk about with other listeners, post on our shiny new subreddit at reddit.com/r/Ubuntu Podcast. Or you can just leave a comment on the relevant show notes on our website, ubuntupodcast.org. And now it's time for some of that feedback that you just keep sending to us. So Will left a comment on our website, ubuntupodcast.org. I was going to say the email address and that was all wrong. So ubuntupodcast.org.
My first memory of using the internet was using AOL around 1995 or 1996. I was young then and thought the concept of accessing remote information was cool, but I remember not finding much that was actually interesting to me on it. My first intense use of the internet was around 1997 when a friend introduced me to multi-user dungeons. I played the ones that were not strict about staying in character. The combination of exploring new worlds and chatting with people from around the real world was addictive.
It's funny how MUDs survive. I was on Twitter yesterday, someone tweeted, has anyone tried compiling and then the name of some project on Ubuntu 16.04? And I thought, I wonder what that is. So I found it on GitHub. Sure enough, it's a MUD. It's a multi-user dungeon. And I was like, wow, it's 2016 and people are still playing MUDs. So yes, I provided some feedback as to how to compile it on Ubuntu 16.04.
And John R. left a comment on our website, which is also ubuntupodcast.org.
I must have been one of Kix's early customers. I can remember talking to DJ about the account in the mid-1980s, was using one of those large XBT 1.2 kilobit modems, and Amiol, which was the same software I used, started sending emails outside of Kix in late 1990 1988. First web browser would have been Lynx via the Kix gateway. Didn't get a permanent internet connection until ADSL came into West London and I could afford it in about 97, nearly £100 a month. For me, Linux came after Minix in early 90s, as it was easier to get the discs in the post rather than the copyrighted discs of Minix from the publishers of Tenenbaum's book. What memories, how far we've all come. Still use the Kix email address.
Wow.
Yeah, it was nice to see an email come in from a kix.co.uk address. Yeah.
Anyway, so Jerry Carnes on Twitter said,
Regarding laptops running hot, I invariably find a runaway K-worker with top when mine runs hot. Restart fixes it. I know it's probably obvious in the case of users such as yourselves, but thought it might be useful for newer users.
Yeah, I've had the same problem.
what is K-Worker?
I have no idea. It's a
Kernel
thing
worker,
that's
maybe?
running in the background that eats my CPU alive.
Yeah.
Oh dear. And that's all the feedback.
And that's all for episode 28. We'll be back next week when we'll have more news, comment, discussion, and other frippery.
Hooray.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, it's nearly Christmas.
Start rehearsing the play.
Oh, no.
Actually, someone at Foss Live told me he stopped listening when we started doing those.
Bye.
Bye.